called Dana White 2 days before the fight, and I said Kamaru's gonna knock out Jorge Masvidal. He laughed at me and said, "Let's see," right? But I see that the work Trevor Woodman was putting in. I see the footwork. I saw the game plan, right? And it really eluded me. Kamaru did not. We just want to wrestle with him. He have a point to prove. Kamaru always have a chip on his shoulder. And for people who doesn't know Kamaru is a workhorse. You know, he's a guy he was grew up in the jungle. He moved to the USA. He left the jungle, but the jungle never left him. You know what I'm saying? He's always fight with African pride on his shoulder, right? Like people doesn't think I'm good enough. And guess what? He's the pound for pound best fighter in the world today. He's the best, greatest welterweight of all the time. And he's a killer.
You know, the one thing you said to me privately after he won the title by beating Tyron Woodley, you said that, you know, he's been injured. He hasn't been able to throw kicks. You're still not seeing the full game of Kamaru Usman. Is it fair to say now that we're seeing the full package of Kamaru and that what we saw the other day was this guy at his absolute peak?
Man, Kamaru went to this fight. It was a broken pinky. It was messed up growing. And he never told me about it. I know about it after the fight. He's not human. He's insane. But guess what? Kamaru don't want excuses. He doesn't talk about his anything. You know, at the end of the day, if he would have went out there and I beat him, he wasn't gonna hear any excuses because this is who he is as a man. Jorge is a very good opponent. But I said before, it's good fighter and great fighters. Kamaru is a great fighter. Jorge Masvidal is a good fighter, but he's not a great fighter. There's level to this.
After the initial tweet came out, he said that he was going to move on from the fight, and even Dana White admitted recently, after the fight was made official, that it looked like the fight was on shaky ground for a second. From your perspective, was it ever in jeopardy?
I think it was.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was.
Were you worried about that?
I mean, if it fell apart, it kind of sucks because, like I said, I think this means a lot. But at the end of the day, I'm still the number one contender.
Okay.
So yeah, it would have sucked if it did fall apart, but I mean, it's out of my hands.
So last thing on all of this, if you could do it again, you wouldn't have put that out there? You regret doing that?
Yeah, I still, like I said, I still stand behind everything.
Yeah.
I would never make something up that wasn't true. But casting a negative light on my foundation or just attaching it to something negative, personally, those opinions, like, it just wasn't good looking back. As the voice of a foundation, I just, feel like it wasn't good.
Won't be a Smith rematch because, I was lucky enough that he even gave me the opportunity to fight him. He'll be looking to climb the rankings now. But as for me, anyone in that top 15, I'll be happy to fight. I feel like I match up well with all of them. He doesn't hit hard. He just hits really, really sharp. And, I felt him, don't worry. A scan until I get out of quarantine, which is in another 11 days, so... It's a bit banged up still. I feel like there's a little bit of damage there, but I don't know until I get out of here. I consider moving to heavyweight every single day, but then I seen Francis Ngannou in person on the weekend, and that is fucking huge. This scares me a bit. Yes, I would. And please fight me, Jake Paul. Please make me rich. Please make me rich, Jake Paul.
So we just got back from Abu Dhabi. Diego got off the plane, got a little bit of a limp, having to walk slow and go to the restroom. And as all the people from the UFC went ahead of us, and not one representative cared to look back and see where we were at, they all went to baggage claim, and they all went on a bus and somehow loaded up and left. Us sitting here in the airport so that Diego Nightmare Sanchez is stuck getting food out of a fucking vending machine. This is our reality. So when I'm telling you the UFC is not so respectful or doing Diego right, this is what I'm talking about. Look at this fucking place. There ain't nothing else going on but us.
Diego Sanchez incidentally posting a video. Well, it wasn't him. I think it was the School of Self-Awareness coach. Excuse me, my protein shake. I forget his name, but they were talking a bit of shit about the UFC. Did you see that video, Harrington? Maybe you can bring it up. That's kind of interesting. Listen, the UFC take great care of the fighters. They do, and you always get like nice limousines picking you up and things like that. But sometimes there might be a little bit of human error, right? Coming back from Fight Island, they were at the airport, and then his coach is on camera going, "Look at this. This is bull. We've been left at the airport. There is no one here." You know what I mean? It's like, well, all you got to do is just call someone and say, "Hey, we're stuck here at the airport," or get an Uber. You're a professional fighter. It's not a big deal. Do you know what I mean? It's on Diego Sanchez's Instagram. I'm not talking shit about Diego, more about his coach, because that's just putting Diego in a really awkward situation as well. Diego's been with the UFC since The Ultimate Fighter 1, had a tremendous amount of fights. He's guaranteed to be a Hall of Famer. In my opinion, he should be. One of probably the longest tenured guy in the UFC, I would have thought. And then his coach is out there. I don't care. I guess from his coach, it's coming from a good place. But come on, not everything needs to go on social media.
Everything's a knife. Everything's a knife. Don't get greedy.
Listen, man, my last fight, the commentary was horrible on me, man. They disgraced me in my own hometown, man. They were calling me a chicken. Daniel Cormier was saying how I was drooling at the mouth. Like, there was a lot going on, man. There was a lot going on, and we're just here to talk to you guys.
And that's all I'm saying is, if we're going to be honest and look at that here, man, I'm saying this man deserves a fair shot in the sense of, let's not go 30 seconds into it and tell the narrative, oh, any more kicks like that, Diego's done. Yet he's not bleeding, and he's coming out of the round perfectly safe and sound. So I'm curious.
To all the fighters. It doesn't matter who you are. It happens to all the fighters.
You're right. It does.
But you can't control what they're seeing and relaying to the audience.
I understand that. And all I'm saying is a fair shot of letting it be seen.
Or your teaching.
What's that?
That also has nothing to do with you or your school or your teaching.
No.
What
It has.
they're seeing in the game,
Absolutely.
you're relaying. So
Absolutely.
that's just what it seems like you're doing. You're making it about yourself, and it's about Diego.
I'm sorry. It seems like that. It was about the commentating that I'm referring to.
About you.
No, you don't. Okay. I'm sorry if your guys are moving so fast in your own worlds with your own articles. Maybe you're not aware of the negative impacts of the media and the things that have been targeted at this man for over a year and a half that have to do with self-esteem, psychology, and all that shit that everybody's wondering about. And I'm trying to understand, why is it so hard to talk about respect in that context? I'm just asking for a fair plate. And in the context of commentating and seeing something fair, I kind of think if we're already going to talk negatively before anything even happens, that's painting the picture so nobody sees things clear.
Well,
and
I'm happy to connect with you
saying.
after the fact to get a little bit more insight
That's
into
all
what
I'm
you're
saying.
doing. I can't speak to
John.
Daniel Cormier. You know how much I respect you. I
appreciate
haven't. I was not in Rio Rancho, nor was Paul, right? But I will connect with you, and I will try to. I mean, but all I have mentioned on the air is your alignment.
No, absolutely. And if you don't understand what I'm referring to and why I'm speaking adamant like this, please go to Google, go to YouTube, and just real quick, put in my name, and then see what's going on with the slander.
I've seen it.
Okay, so you've seen
They're
it.
all well aware of it.
Oh, so if you're well aware, why are we acting like this didn't happen? Why
Because
are you
it's not in this
This
room.
is not about you.
us.
This
It's
is
not from me.
Diego's fighter meeting.
There's no reason.
But it has to do with him. That's my point.
Because you're disrespecting us, and we have other athletes that are waiting right now to be in this room to have the opportunity that Diego just had, and you're lecturing us on something that
Nobody's
we
lecturing.
haven't
I'm
even
trying
done.
to ask for a fair plight. If that's too much to ask for, clearly it's fine. I was just asking. And
We are always giving a fair shot to everyone. Everyone. It is our job.
I understand that you've done that. I'm just saying, in this man's experience and what I've witnessed, some things don't seem quite level or fair or just. And when my name has been slandered, when this man's name, legacy, and his career that you so admire has been slandered, but that part doesn't matter, that's what I'm saying when I'm here helping at the end of his career. That's all. That's all. Okay. And I say this out of respect for this same man. That's why I'm willing to talk to you, even though nobody gives a. That's the point, man. Like, I care about him just the same as you say you care, and you're not respecting me for doing that.
Yeah, watch his last fight. You could see why that hurt his feelings a little bit, you know. So
But on top of it,
that's all.
If the media is gonna
Totally. Listen, that's totally understandable. But delivering the message could be in a much
When-
more
when-
respectful
when
way.
will-
We're
when-
not filming it to try to
She's not
make
saying
clout
the
or
when.
something.
She's talking about the how.
Yes.
we don't need to film anything.
You're filming it, not
That's
us.
fine. That's fine. Just like filming me in the octagon and using it against me. Same, man. Like, stop. I'm not putting this on the internet. I'm having a civil conversation and it's a problem? Like, seriously, do you guys not see that? I'm just talking and it's a problem. That's interesting. That's interesting when all I'm doing is bringing light
I
to
didn't
this
sign
man.
up for your lecture class.
I'm out, man. Nobody wanted to lecture you. Stop. I'm not putting this on the internet. I'm having a civil conversation and it's a problem? Like, seriously, do you guys not see that? I'm just talking and it's a problem. That's interesting. That's interesting when all I'm doing is bringing light
I
to
didn't
this
sign
man.
up for your lecture class.